So do you think that one day there will be just one language in the world?
Mom.
All right. Hi, how have you been? How was your day?
My day is going great. I've been good. Mom. How are you?
Absolutely fine, sitting in front of you. All right. So yes, Bismarck, we are
Nice.
meeting for the first time. Let's introduce ourselves first. Let's know a bit about each other.
Okay. All right. My name is Bismarck, and I'm from Ghana, and I'm in the capital, the administrative capital of Ghana, which is Accra, and I'm a domestic worker currently. Yeah. So I'm also an online student. Yeah.
That's great. What brings you here on Clapingo, Bismarck?
I'm here to develop my language abilities, like proficiency. And so that's what brought me here. Yes.
That's great. All right, let me tell you a bit about myself. I am Shallu Ratta. I am from Dehradun, Uttarakhand, India. And
Okay.
been a teacher since 2010. I never wanted to be one, but certain circumstances brought me into this field. But later on, I took it as a passion and I started working, and I loved the work that I was doing. So yes, recently I left my job as a coordinator in a school of Dehradun and shifted to Bengaluru as my husband got transferred here. So yes, I'm currently working on online platforms. I'm not working as a full-time teacher as of now. So yes, that's
Okay.
about myself.
Oh,
So
okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Great, great. So shall we continue with the topic that we have, Bismarck?
Of course.
Yeah. What is the topic for the day?
It talks about language.
Yes, that's it. What do you think about it? What is a language? What do you mean by language?
I think that a language is a medium that we use to convey information, to solicit information, and to also make others. So, to put it simple, language is a form of communication. Yeah, the medium
How
for
do you
communication.
how do you think language first started?
Well, I don't know the genesis of language. I don't know it into greater detail, but the little I know is that language began as a form of gesture that they use to communicate. Yeah, so that's what I know about how language began. Yes.
That's great. How much of a barrier do you think language is?
Well, in a form of barrier, if I think that language can be a barrier if, let's say, two people from different locations or different have different languages, or maybe from different countries meet and they speak different languages. It becomes a barrier when they cannot understand each other's language, and so they can't communicate, and that becomes a barrier. Yeah.
How many language can you speak, Bismarck?
Well, as of now, I would say I can speak. Well, well, I think 3 languages only. Maybe I can speak just English and my mother tongue, and maybe a bit of French, a bit of Hindi, and yeah. So, and I'm also looking forward. Like, I'm open to learn new languages out there. Yes.
That's great. So from where did you learn Hindi?
For Hindi, I would say I learned it from movies and sometimes Google translations. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So how is, if I talk about, like, this is the language that we are talking in, even the animals also, communicate with each other. So how is our language different from animal language?
Okay, so I would say that animals, our language is far, far, far different from animals' language, because for them, they don't use words. They don't put words together to sound. They don't use vocabularies and all that. But them, they only use certain sounds, maybe sounds from birds, sounds from apes or gorillas or other animals out there. So they just use sign language. Yeah, but we use tones to communicate. We
Yeah,
can also use gestures as well. Yeah.
great, great. So do you think that one day there will be just one language in the world, and that would make world a better place to be in?
Well, yes, I think to some extent, but that does not mean that we should forget about our own heritage, culture, and where we come from, because this is something that define us. So if let's say we leave our own language, let's say Hindi or Tamil or other languages like Telugu and all that, or maybe let's say my mother tongue, to just embrace another language and forget about mine, it means that, sorry, you are muted.
Yeah, I was actually asking for my charger. You continue.
Okay, so if I mute, if let's say I forget about my own language and I embrace another language without, you know, if I leave my own language behind, it means that I am missing out, or I am losing my own culture and heritage. Yeah. So it is okay. It is important to learn about other languages so we can make communication easy among ourselves. But we should also make it a point to embrace our own language as well.
Yeah, that's true. So why do you think there are so many different languages in the world?
Well, as I said earlier, I don't know the genesis, how language like came about, the details of language, but I think that maybe it's because of how we were created. Maybe, yeah, maybe because of how we were created, maybe because of our donations and our own I don't know. Yeah, that's all I can say about that.
So which language do you actually like the most? If it comes to speaking, or if it comes to communicating in a language, which is the most comfortable language for you?
I think English, apart from my own mother tongue, I think English is the most comfortable language. Yeah. Yes.
That's great. That's great. So currently you are in?
Accra, Ghana.
Have you ever been to India?
No, madam.
Do you wish to visit once in your life?
Of course, I wish.
All right. So
Yes.
you said that you already know three languages: your mother tongue, Hindi, English, and a bit of Tamil.
No,
Yes?
I don't know. I can't speak
English,
Tamil.
Hindi, and your mother tongue. So, what other, apart from these three languages, what other three languages would you really like to speak, and why?
Okay. Chinese, Spanish. Yeah, Chinese, Spanish, and Hausa. Yeah, Hausa.
Great.
Yeah.
Why? Why
Yeah,
these three?
because I think that China is one of the let's say advanced countries, and they are. I guess in general, if you know languages, there are so many opportunities for you out there. You know, you have opportunities over other people who cannot speak the same language. So I just understand that language, if I understand multiple languages, I have advantage. Yes.
That's great. So,
Yes.
if we talk about your comfortable language, yes, you told me that. I already asked this question. You told that you like to speak in English. Yes.
Yes.
Now, is it possible for us to forget our first language?
No, 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 we can't. Forgetting your first language means you are leaving behind your culture and embracing another person's culture. Yes. And I think it is imperative for us to not forget about our own first language, because for me, my first language is my mother tongue, and I can't afford to lose that. Yeah.
So, all right, now you know three languages. Do you know those languages? Like, you know how to write them, like written in written also. Like, can you write those languages also?
Maybe a bit, yes. For Hindi, yes, I can write to some extent, but I don't know how to write Sanskrit. I can't write in Sanskrit, but the English version of Hindi, like the way they spell it in Google, and yeah, that one I can do. Yes.
So, by learning these languages, which do you think is the most difficult language?
French. French is difficult, seriously, because French is difficult. When I was in primary school, they used to teach us French. Like it was compulsory. Like it was compulsory for us to learn how to speak French. But sometimes because our teachers were not that friendly, you know, they are always very harsh, and so they make you lose interest in the language. Because you'll agree with me that everybody is different when it comes to learning. And so I think that teachers need to adopt different ways of teaching people who have different ways of learning. So what works for another person like might not work for me. So I think it is okay when you're teaching, you have a lot of patience, or you should have enormous patience for other students, but do not use stick or cane to punish me if I spell a word wrongly. So when I was in primary school, my teacher, like not just me, but majority, a lot of us, we didn't like the language because the man will come and beat you if you spell it wrongly, you spell a word wrongly, he will come and beat you and all that. Because of that, we used to dodge the class.
Teachers are allowed to like hit you?
Yeah, seriously, like back in the days, they used to do that. But now, there has been new laws, so we don't do that anymore. You don't have the right to beat a student when they fail
Even
at
touch a child. Here in India, we are not even allowed to touch. Even patting sometimes, make
yeah,
children feel bad that how did the teacher touch me? Like you're not allowed to do that.
exactly. Exactly. I don't know, but back in the days, I don't know the mentality, the rationale behind what, their mentality, why they choose to be beating students for that. And I'm happy that the laws have changed, and now they have made the law to suit the students. Now you don't have any right to touch any child, whether they get the word correctly, or because it's not as if we don't know anything. It's not as if let's say we are dumb. No, it's just that you ask us to spell a word or to write it, because French is not my language, it's not my mother tongue.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like it takes some time to adjust and understand what the other language that we are learning.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
as a
So
child, if you think from the other perspective, he's just a child. How can we
yes.
expect that little child to get everything in one single class or in one single session?
Exactly. So that's what really made me lose interest in the language
Yeah.
learning. Yeah, it got to a point I used to like we dodge a lot.
Yeah, like here we are from North India. Now we've shifted to South India. So here the language
Okay.
is Kannada. And my daughter, she's 4 years old. She only knows Hindi and a bit of English. So here in
Okay.
schools, it is compulsory. It is mandatory to learn to study Kannada. And of course, the
Okay.
teacher has to be patient with her in order to get well versed with the language. If she'll be harsh, if she'll be beating the child, definitely she'll lose her interest in studying that subject. And
Wow. Oh,
that's
exactly. You don't have to beat the child. Wow. Well, that was in the past. Like I just let bygones be bygones because
bygone.
it was in
Exactly.
the past. Yes.
Great, Miss Mark. That was nice speaking to you. Nice meeting you in person. That's great. You have a great vibe. That smile on your face while you speak to the other person brings a lot of positivity. It gives a lot of positivity to the other person. Yes.
Thank you, Mom. I'm very happy that you dedicated the time to come join me today, and thank you so much for coming. I appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Bismarck. Thank you, Bismarck. Have a great day ahead. Take care. Bye
Have
bye.
a great day too. Bye, Mom.
Bye.